the front door of his apartment flies open, and I see him just like fly across the living room with his handcuffs in front of him, lands on the floor, and then I look back, and there's a 20-year-old kid with a pistol right at my forehead, and I can hear like the spring in the magazine shaking, and his fingers on the trigger. And I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And everything's in Serbian, so there's like 4 uniformed cops in there. This guy's terrified. He's just finally get to, like, super compliant, go to my stomach, handcuff me behind my back. And then 2 plainclothes guys walked in. And they're like, oh, American? I'm like, well, I was like, hey, does anyone speak English? And they're like, oh, American. I'm like, yeah. And then they're looking around this guy's house and like grabbing all this shit. And this guy's a hunter and has a bunch of like licensed stuff to him, and they're pulling out all of his guns and shit. And they're like, oh, you like guns, huh? I'm like, what? I said, as much as the next guy. Like, what do you mean? They're like, where's your passport? I'm like, it's right here. You know, am I under arrest? Yes, you are.
Before you go any further with that, 2 quick questions that I think are pertinent. Number 1, did you have a cover story? Like, as you're coming in, if their custom says, hey, why are you here? Are you just saying, oh, I'm just here hanging out?
Yeah.
So you're not telling them that you're working. It's a total, oh, I'm just fucking hanging out.
Yeah.
And in that same vein, like, that's your directive from the company, is that you're going and doing this kind of undercover-ish?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not walking around with a telephoto lens. Like,
yeah. But, okay.
So I'm on the ground. I'm arrested, so get in the car. Then from there, we go straight to a police station. We're all separated. I'm in a shitty little room. It's cold. And I think over the course of 4 days, they would take me out and interrogate me. And the first time I went out, you know, it's all like the building the police station is in, it looks totally condemned. There's like broken furniture piled up on the landings of each stairwell, and you know, there's no smoking signs that are like yellowed from smoke. You know, I'm like, what? This is like out of a movie set.
Yeah.
So I go sit down and sit in a chair, 2 cops in the room, and then on the table there's this lady who's like dressed like the lady from 101 Dalmatians, got this big fur coat, but she's built like Ursula, like she's huge. She's like smoking a cigarette, and she's like, I am translate to make for you. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
They're like asking my name, like it's on my passport, and I have a suffix, the 3rd, and like, how do we do the 3rd? I went over to the computer. I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking crazy. She's like, sign this. And I'm like, this is in Cyrillic and in Serbian, which I don't know. I'm like, what does it say? You have bombs and you have a gun and you're making bombs, all this crazy shit. I'm like, I'm not signing that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, sign this. I'm like, okay. And I can make out proper names because I can read Cyrillic. There's like Rolex, passport, Daniel Corbett, like my belongings. I'm like, okay, I'll sign this because it's true. And they brought in like some EMTs, and the cop was like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, don't bite. He's make a biting motion. I'm like, what? And then they just like pried my mouth open and took a bunch of cotton swabs for DNA. And I'm like, okay. Went back to my little holding cell.
Were you by yourself in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me a shitty little sandwich, which I used as a pillow. Because I couldn't fit on the bench all the way, so I was sleeping on the ground. And they pulled me up again, and there's like this big cop, plain clothes, but like had tactical boots on, spoke pretty good English. He's like, oh, you're here for Vucic. I'm like, Vuk? Like wolf? No. They're like, then he was like, what? I'm like, what? He's like, are you DEA? No. CIA? No. What are you doing? We're just hanging out. What's your job? I'm like, I'm a private contractor. Okay. But you're here for Vucic? I'm like, I don't know what that is. He's like, it's the president. You're here to assassinate the president. I said, no. And he was like, fuck, hold on. He called in some coffee, closed the door, and he's like, all right, bro, like I totally believe you, but the media already has it, so it's already in the news.
No shit.
I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm not here to kill a president. Like, what are you talking about? Fly into the same country? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not how you would do something like this. So he's like, well, you're going to go to jail for sure. You're an ex-Navy SEAL. It's election year for this guy. You know, they want to play nice with Russia. So, like, they have this, like, American guy they can make be a spy. It's like, he's like, dude, you are fucked.
Did they find out that you were a SEAL?
I told him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did they respond to that?
It was like, why would someone with that kind of status come to our shitty country?
To party by yourself?
Like who cares?
Yeah.
So get put back in my room, and then I get investigated again because now I have the organized crime unit on me.
And this is a few days apart each time? Like you're sitting there for a few days, you get pulled out, interrogated?
I think it's more like 18 hours,
Okay.
15. I couldn't tell because there was no windows, no way to tell time.
And was there a toilet in there?
Yeah.
Sink you could drink?
Yeah, they let you get water, yeah.
But not a lot of food.
No.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Didn't give a shit.
Come out lean, looking good. You know what I mean?
I'm on a fast, whatever.
So get pulled into another interrogation with two guys, and they're the organized crime thing. So why is there organized crime? Like, what? He's like, oh, you and three others are being charged with organized crime. I'm like, what the fuck with three others? What do you mean three people? With me, that's four. Like, yeah, that's organized crime. Okay, so these guys are like, who's this person? Who's this? And like, I was okay making statements because we've done all the things and resistance techniques and stuff, and I was really tired and I could feel it because I'm like, what? I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm done talking to you. And then they asked through the good cop, that one that told me I was fucked. He's like, hey, they ask if you want to take a lie detector test. And then he leans in real close and he goes, say no. I was like, no. He's like, nope. All right. And then before they stormed out of the room, they said, we can tell you've been trained, but even the best give up things they don't even know they're giving up to us. And I was like, ooh, whatever, dude. Yeah. Went down. And then, another 18 hours goes by. Me and the kid I was arrested with at his house and two other people I've never seen, we get loaded in a paddy wagon. I asked the kid, where are we going? He said, we're going to CZ. I said, what's that? He goes, Centralny Zatvor, like central jail. We're going to jail. But on the way to jail, we stopped at the courthouse. Another little prison cells underneath. We all go make statements, and we're all in this big hallway. It's like chaos. There's like all these people in this hallway, and like I'm just in fucking handcuffs. And when I first got arrested in my first interrogation, they asked, hey, do you want a state-appointed attorney, or do you want an attorney that the guy's house you're at that he's hiring? And I said, well, fuck, is this kid like trying to set me up? That's a 50-50. State-appointed, that's 100%. I'm done. So I guess I got to go with the 50-50, right? Fast forward, we're back in that hallway at the courthouse. Some guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, a bunch of guys came up to me like, I'm a lawyer. And then one guy's like, hey, these two people say hello. And I said, boom, you're my guy.
These two people, meaning one of the guy that you were with?
Not at the house, just an associate of mine.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, just make a statement. Went in there. I got arrested. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, we have 6 months to investigate. And then after that, we all went back downstairs, loaded up another paddy wagon, and then actually went to the jail.